Today in Capechi's Corner, we're going to look at polynomial test questions. Number 1 says, when the trinomial x squared plus x minus 6 is factored completely, which is one of its factors? So I don't have a greatest common factor, so I'm going to set my parentheses up. I have my second sign is a negative, so I know I'm going to have a plus and a minus. The only way I'm going to get to x squared is x and x. And I'm looking for factors of 6 that when I subtract I get to 1. So I have 6 and 1, 3 and 2. 3 and 2 is going to be the one that works. Now 3 is my higher factor. My first sign is a plus, so I know my 3 is going to go here and my 2 is going to go here. Now if I wanted to double check my work, I could multiply these binomials using FOIL. In the end, remember, it's talking about which is one of its factors. So when I look at my answers, I don't see both factors, I just see one. So I realize that letter B is x minus 2, which is one of my factors. Number 2 says a polynomial expression, 3x to the third minus 36x squared plus 60x, will have the monomial 3x factored out, and the remaining expression is a trinomial. What is the factored trinomial? So it's really a very wordy question. So when I'm looking at my expression, they're already telling me to factor out 3x. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to take out my 3x, and I'm left with x squared minus 12x plus 20. And it says, what is the factored trinomial? So here's my trinomial right here. So from here I have to factor. So I've already taken out my greatest common factor, so that's all set. My second sign's a plus, so it tells me my signs are the same. They're both going to be a minus. The only way I'm going to get to x squared is x and x. So I'm looking for factors of 20 that when I add them together, I get 12. So that's going to give me 10 times 2, which is 20, and when I add them together, I get 12. So my 10 goes here, my 2 goes here, and I realize letter C is my correct response. Number 3 says, what value of b makes the equation true? And my equation is x squared plus bx, so there's my unknown, minus 35 is equal to x plus 5 times x minus 7. Now I'm looking for my middle term here, so I'm going to use FOIL. I have two binomials, so I get x squared. My outside terms are a negative 7x, my inside is positive 5x, and my last is negative 35. Combine my like terms and I have x squared minus 2x minus 35. So that's what I'm concentrating on, my x to the first term. So I have bx is equal to negative 2x, and I notice that b is equal to negative 2, which is answer C. Number 4 says, which of the expressions are equivalent? So I have 4 options here. Now I notice in looking at these, they're not all the same in the same form. So I have 1 is a trinomial, and 2, 3, and 4 are 2 binomials each. So I like to say a lot of times in math that we're trying to compare apples to oranges, which isn't helpful. So I know if I use FOIL on my binomials, I can then compare them to the trinomial. So let's do that. Number 1 is already in trinomial form, so I can leave that alone. And number 2, I'll use FOIL. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 8x minus 48 gives me x squared plus 2x minus 48. In number 3, I have x squared plus 6x minus 8x minus 48. Combine my terms, and I get x squared minus 2x minus 48. And last one, number 4, using FOIL, I get x squared minus 4x plus 12x minus 48. And again, combining my terms, I have x squared plus 8x minus 48. Now when I do this, I notice that 1 and 2 are exactly the same, which is response A. Number 5 says, which value of C would not make the expression x squared plus 10x plus C factorable? So I notice that the word not is there. So that means 3 of the responses, C is going to make that expression factorable. 1 of them is not. So I kind of need to do them one at a time. So I'm going to start with letter A, and I'm going to substitute 25 in where I see C. So I have x squared plus 10x plus 25. Now the question is saying, can I factor this? So when I do that, I notice the signs are the same. They're both a plus. So I have x and x and plus and plus. Factors of 25, then when I add them together, I get 10 is 5 and 5. So this one is factorable. So that one's not going to be an answer. In letter B, I'm going to do the same thing. I have x squared plus 10x, and this time I'm going to substitute 24 in. Same idea, signs are the same, they're both a plus. I'm looking for factors of 24 that when I add them, I get 10, and that's going to be 6 and 4. So again, that one's factorable, so that's not an answer for this question. And letter C, same idea, x squared plus 10x plus 21. X and x, I have a plus and a plus. Factors of 21 that when I add them together I get 10 is 7 and 3. So again, that's factorable, so that's not going to be a response. So it looks like D is going to be a response, but I'm going to check just to make sure. So in letter D, I substitute 18 in, so I get x squared plus 10x plus 18. X and x, a plus and plus. So this one I'm hoping is not factorable since the other ones were. So 18, I have 18 and 1. Another set of factors is 9 and 2, and I have 6 and 3. Now none of these will add together to get 10, which makes this one not factorable. So the answer is letter D. Our last question for today says a picture has a length and a width of 3x plus 1 and x plus 4. A 2-inch wide frame was added to each side of the picture. Find the area of the frame. So I really just want the area of just the frame. So first I'm going to label my diagram. So I have 3x plus 1, and then I have x plus 4. Now I'm going to add a 2-inch wide frame around the outside, so I kind of have 2 everywhere here. So when I'm finding my new length, I have 2 plus 3x plus 1 plus 2. When I combine my terms, I have 3x plus 5. I'll do the same thing with width, so I have 2 plus x plus 4 plus 2. When I combine my like terms, I have x plus 8. So now I'm looking for the area of the frame. So the first thing I have to do is find the total area. So that'll be 3x plus 5 times x plus 8 because I'm including the picture and the frame. So I'll use FOIL since I have two binomials, so that'll give me 3x squared. My outside's 24x, my inside's 5x, and my last is 40. I'll combine my like terms, and I have 3x squared plus 29x plus 40. So that's the total area, which includes the frame and the picture. Now the other part of that is I have to worry just about the picture. So that's the area of the picture. Since at some point I'll have to take that out since I don't need that, I just need the area of the frame. So it'll be the dimensions we start with, 3x plus 1 times x plus 4. And then again we have two binomials, so we use FOIL. So we have 3x squared, the outside is 12x, the inside is x, and my last is 4. So when I combine my terms, I have 3x squared plus 13x plus 4. So now I'm going to try to find the area of just the frame. So when I'm doing that, I need to take the total area, which includes the frame and the picture, and subtract out the area of the picture since I don't need that. So I take 3x squared plus 29x plus 40 minus 3x squared plus 13x plus 4. I have to rewrite my total area, and then I'll distribute that negative 1. So I get minus 3x squared minus 13x minus 4. Then I'll combine my like terms, so I have 3x squared and negative 3x, which gives me 0. And I have 29x minus 13x gives me 16x. And then I have 40 minus 4, which gives me plus 36. And we have inches squared, since we're talking about area. And that's the area of the frame, 16x plus 36 inches squared.